Hi everyone, welcome to episode 134 of the Arieknits podcast. My name is Ariel and this is a video podcast where I talk about all the things that I have been knitting and spinning on for the past week. Today it is Saturday, November 8th, and I'm filming a little bit later in the day because I was doing some fun fiber dyeing earlier this morning, and so we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I have some fun project updates. I have a couple new cast-ons. I have a spin to talk about. I also have some sewing projects to share with you that I finished, and those are going to be, they're so cute, and I'm so excited to share it with you all. But yeah, so it's going to be, I think it's going to be a pretty fun episode with a lot of different things. Let's start with what I am wearing today. I actually also wore it yesterday, so I'm wearing it again today for the video. This is my finished Mabel sweater. I finished it last week. I think it was last week or the week before that, but I didn't get a chance to wear it on the podcast yet. So this is the first time you're seeing me wear it on the podcast. This is the Mabel sweater by Locatelli, and the yarn I use for this is Explore Knits Denali sock in the colorway Leaf Peeping, and I knit size 2. I use US 3 needles, 3.25 millimeter needles to knit this. And for final measurements, I have 34 inches in circumference for the chest circumference, and that gives me about 4 inches of positive ease on this sweater. And I wore this yesterday, and I actually wore it, I took a walk yesterday in the park because it was really nice weather. It's actually really nice weather today too, and it was really nice. I actually also got to take some finished object pictures of this, which I feel like from date of completing to finished object pictures, when I take them, sometimes a very long time. And so me taking it yesterday was actually pretty quick as of lately. I feel like early on I was very quick at taking finished object pictures, but lately I have such a backlog. But anyway, I got really cute finished object pictures with this in the park because it's fall, and so all of the trees leaves are all like the orange and red, yellow colors, and so I thought it would match really nicely with the sweater. And I also have to take advantage of the weather being nice and the leaves still being on the trees and colored, because I feel like in Seattle, or at least in the Pacific Northwest, once it hits fall, it's like it gets so rainy, and I feel like at some point you get maybe like, a little bit of time with the fall weather and like the leaves and it being really pretty, and then it rains and then all the leaves fall off, you know what I mean? So I was like, if the leaves are still on the trees, I have to get some pictures, and so yeah, I did. But okay, let me talk about the sweater now. So here it is. I will stand up so you can see it. Here it is. It is a very nice and cozy sweater. You can see that it's not oversized at all. It actually is. There's positive ease, but it's quite fitting. Like, it's not like super loose anywhere. The sleeve length on this came out perfect. I was a little nervous about sleeve length on this because I knew that the stitch pattern on this, my gauge swatch of it grew a lot, and so I was worried that the sleeves were going to grow a lot and be too long, but they're actually perfect. They're the perfect length. And the cuff is also really nicely snug against my wrist. You can see there's not really it's not like hanging off anywhere, but it's also not like squeezing tight. And so I can roll up my sleeves and for it to like stay up there and be comfortable. One thing about, now I was thinking about, the tightness of these cuffs, which is, there's stretch there, but it's nice and it's not gaping anywhere. For the neck for this, I might have done it a little tight because I do have to kind of tug it to go over my head, but it's not tight around my neck at all, and so that doesn't bother me. It's just taking it off where it's a little tight, but not tight enough where I want to redo it. Like, it's just, if I am, I cannot be wearing glasses and putting the sweater on. I guess actually for most sweaters that's difficult. But even if I have like an AirPod in, I know that's like around my ears, but it's snug enough, I feel like, where, everything needs to be like off of my face to put this sweater on. But thankfully it's not tight around my neck, because I think that would definitely bother me. So as long as I can get it on and off, and it's not like choking me, then it's great. And then as far as length for this, I went with like a normal kind of like, I guess, full length sweater. So it's not cropped at all. It's a very comfortable length where I don't feel like I need to wear high-waisted pants in order to like stay covered. And yeah, when I block this, because I knew that the stitch, my gauge swatch grew quite a bit, both length and width-wise, but I think mostly width-wise. I didn't block it too... I didn't block it too aggressively, but I did, before blocking it looked kind of small, and I was surprised a little bit, maybe because I knit size 2 instead of size 1. So I was definitely leaning more towards like more positive ease. And so I just made sure that when I blocked it sideways mostly. That is what I was worried about the most. The length all seemed pretty fine. I just needed it to get a bit more width in all of the places, including the sleeve. And so I did block it that way, not aggressively, but I just made sure when I laid it out, I kind of just like pulled it a bit for it to match the measurements pretty much. And yeah, it turned out really great. So I really like how this feels. Again, I wore this yesterday and it was very comfortable. And as far as the stitch goes, so I talked about the stitch quite a bit already and didn't explain what it was. So, and I can stand up a little bit closer so you can see the raglan line here and also a bit more of what this stitch detail looks like. So it is a mix of 1x1 rib and fisherman's rib. And Joji Locatelli in the pattern calls it waffle stitch, but I think that there is a different stitch pattern that's also called waffle stitch, but this does kind of have like a waffly rib texture is how I'd describe it. Maybe this is called a certain stitch somewhere, but I do really like how this looks. I was worried when I was knitting the gauge swatch. I was like, how is this? How it kind of just looked like 1x1 rib on my like a loose 1x1 rib on my needles. This is a fingering weight yarn, and I was like, how do I get that texture that's on Joji's pattern, like on her sweater of this, but it ended up, I didn't have to worry too much because it did end up giving that kind of waffly texture, or however, something, kind of special rib texture is how I describe it. And you can see this is the raglan line. There are kind of like holes that pop around here or along the line. I think it adds to it. I think that I don't think it's not like yarn overs or anything. It's just like how the increase was done on the raglan, but I think it's it looks fine. This, I don't know if you can tell, but this stitch is quite it's not see-through, like fully see-through, but I am wearing like a black tank top under this, and I feel like you can tell at this section I'm wearing a black tank top versus over here I'm not. I mean, maybe it's just because I know that. Like, it's not that noticeable, but because this, just the way that the stitch is quite open, and so I would say that this is a pretty, more of an airy, kind of breathable sweater. Like, if I'm swinging my arms around, or how about, if I am just wearing this and I'm outside and it's windy, I'm probably going to feel it through this sweater. Yeah, but it's not so wholly where there's no coverage and it's not keeping me warm, but I would say that this is more of like a fall sweater, or like a transition into colder weather, and when it gets really cold, I would probably wear like a jacket over this, or just wear this like indoors kind of sweater, but for that, it's very nice, and I feel very put together in this sweater. I think it's just kind of like that. It's not like an oversized baggy sweater, which I love those kinds of sweaters as well, but this makes me feel really like put together and just like I'm wearing a nice knit sweater is how this kind of makes me feel. So yeah, I talked a lot about this sweater, but it's because I really like it and I'm very happy it's done. It was very pretty quick knit. I mean, I did knit this for Joji's fall knit along, and so there was kind of a deadline. It is at the end of this month, or November 1st. Sorry, not November. December 1st. So I still had some time, but there definitely was a time crunch for this one. I think if there wasn't, this could have stayed on my needles for a longer period of time, but it did in some areas. Once I got the stitch pattern down, it worked up a lot faster than I was anticipating, so that was really nice. But yeah, I like the sweater. I like the color, especially like right now, because it's fall and it feels very fall. It's very nice, and so I'm really glad that I finished it when I did. And it's nice, and I like wearing it. So it's gonna get a lot more wear out of me this year for sure. And yeah, and it's the Mabel sweater inspired by the character Mabel Mora in the Only Murders in the Building series, Hulu series, which I love. The season's over, and now I'm just waiting for the next season to come out. But yeah, so this is the Mabel sweater, and it's done. It's done, and I really like it. I like the fit, and yeah, that's all I can think of to say about it right now. I said a lot about it, and so I think that pretty much covers it. Okay, let's move on to my finished objects, and I have two finished objects. Although, sometimes, some weeks, I feel what the criteria for what I would consider a finished object varies a little bit. In this case, my finished objects are the ends are not woven in and they're not washed or blocked. So, but I felt like they were finished enough this week. That's, some weeks I'm like, I want to wait to call them finished until it's fully finished, but this week I'm not. So yeah. Okay, this first one is Fleur Tee by Woolbird. This is my Fleur Tee number 2. This is the one for my mom. The yarn is Sewrella cotton linen wool in the colorway Oxford. I knit size 4 and I use US 1.5 needles, which is 2.5 millimeter needles, to knit this, and I'm going to hold it up. Now it is done. I'm really glad that I finished it this week because all I needed to do was finish one more sleeve, and it's a short sleeve, and so that's all I needed to knit on for this to be finished, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy it's done, and it looks so nice. It looks so nice, and really great in this color, and I'm hoping my mom likes it, and I hope it fits her nicely. Okay. Since this was the second time that I knit this, just in a different size and same yarn, just different color, everything went very smoothly. I did just adjust the body length to be 1 inch longer than the pattern states for the longer length of the sweater, so it's not cropped. And then for the sleeve, I don't know if you remember, but when I made mine, the first one I made was the one for me. When I knit the sleeves and did the pickup and did the short rows and all of that, it kind of ended up it looked like I picked up too many stitches around the armhole. And so it kind of was poofed a little bit. It looked a little large, and I'm not, for me, I'm not concerned with it, but for my mom and my sisters, I definitely want to make sure that it was a bit more smooth, more just consistent with sizing between the armhole on the body and the actual sleeve. One thing that I think I did, and I'm trying to look at both of the sleeves right now, and I guess it's good that I can't really tell which one I did first, because I did do something different for the second one. Okay, my guess is going to be I did this one first, because it kind of is doing that thing that happened to mine, where right at the top here, it kind of like poofs out a bit, and it just, do you see that, just that line right here on the shoulder, and then it kind of, there's like a little bump when I make the sleeve, and I picked up the number of stitches and the pickup rate for the size, and I had no problem with the pickup rate too. It worked out really nicely to pick up around, but I was like, why is there still a poof up there? So for the next one, what I decided to do is I would just pick up a little bit more down here, and then when I get up to the shoulder, I just skip a bit more stitches. because the pickup rate was actually very nice to go around, and so I didn't want to mess up with the pickup rate too much, but I just kind of like didn't skip too many stitches down at the underarm, and then I just made sure I skipped more stitches at the top, like more, just skip more stitches, because again, it just seemed like there were too much stitches happening right at this top, like where that join was on the shoulder, and so I think that helped it, and so I'm going to do that for my next one, for a shirt for the sleeves. So if you look at this one, there's no bump right here, it just goes nicely down into that sleeve. So I think that worked out. It does not look bunchy under the arm either, which is really great, and so I think it was just maybe just a couple or a few stitches difference at where I picked them up right at the top here that made that difference. So it's not as dramatic though as on mine's, which is really great, and so I'm very happy about that. And so it all worked out. The sleeve felt like it took shorter than when I knit my sleeves, and my sleeves were shorter, less stitches. And so that was a very weird thing about working on this one, was the sleeves felt like it went by a lot shorter. But maybe it's because mindset-wise I knew it was going to take longer, and so my expectations were just like, oh, it's going to take forever, instead of like, oh, it's going to be fast. So maybe that's what it was. But yeah, so I just need to weave in the ends and wash and block it, and then it'll be ready to go. And yeah, I'm just really happy that, it's November 8th, and I have my second Fleur Tee already done, and I just have one more to go, and so that's really exciting. I just need to keep going. Okay, my other finished object for this week, which I wasn't expecting, but then once I started working on it, I couldn't get myself to stop working on it, and then I was like, well, let's just keep working on it because I'm so close already. This one, I kind of like purposefully didn't wash and block it, although to be honest, it's just also because I was lazy. But it's because I know that the transformation on this one with blocking is going to be pretty dramatic, and so I wanted to show it to you all before blocking, and so that next week you can see it after blocking because it'll look quite different. This is the Freddie Pullover by Emily Chen. The yarn I'm using for this is Explorer Knits Rockies DK in the colorway Fantasy. I'm knitting size 1, and I'm using US 4 needles, 3.5 millimeter needles to knit this. And yeah, can you believe it? It's done. I'm going to hold it up now. Ta-da! It's a full sweater now. It's all done. And so what I did this week was I finished, I was in the middle of working on the second sleeve. I forget which side it was on because I had to take out a stitch marker. I was too lazy to get up and find another stitch marker to mark where I was at the beginning of the week. But either left or right sleeve, I think I was around like here on the sleeve. So I finished up that sleeve. So both sleeves were done. And then I went back to the body because that's what I had left to do. You can see I did have my stitch marker for this one. So that's where I was last time on the body. And so I worked all of that. I think that was almost about like 2 more repeats of the cable chart pattern. And then like 2.5 inches of ribbing, 2x2 rib. And the sweater's done. Sweater is done. Yeah, this is going to be great. I did try it on and it fits. However, as you can maybe tell, it's looking very skinny. I'm going to hold it up again. The body's looking very skinny, and the arms, the sleeves look so skinny as well. But that, again, is because it's just the stitch pattern. It's kind of like this mixed number of rib stitches and the cable pattern. So it, looks like this, but after blocking it, I'm going to make sure I not stretch out really hard, but just make sure that all of the stitches are laid out flat, and so it's going to expand quite a bit, from this to this. And that's not me stretching it very hard. It's just me expanding the rib stitches there. same for the body. It's basically the same thing. And so, it's going to stretch out quite a bit after blocking. So I'm definitely going to do that. Part of me thinks maybe I should have knit size 2. Maybe, but actually maybe not. We'll see. I have high confidence that the blocking is going to make this be loose and drapey. Like, not super oversized, but I definitely want some looseness, because right now when I tried it on, it is tight. It is snug. Not tight where it like hurts, but it's snug. It's like squishing onto me. So I do want to block this very soon, because I gotta know what it looks like all finished and done, and so I can try it on and see how cute it is on. But yeah, this one's very exciting. Also, that means that this is 8 done out of my make 9 for the year, and so that means I can cast on my last project of my make 9, which I am so hoping. I'm so close to getting all of that done by the end of this year, and so I'm hoping I can do that. But it does mean that I can cast on my 9th and last project in that list now that this one's done. Not that I couldn't have before, but have a lot of projects that need work on as well. So I wanted to kind of keep this one at a time towards the end of the year at least. But yeah, so it's done. It's done. Also really great because this does have it's like a V-neck collared like polo type of situation going on, and I'm also working on another polo at the same time, so it's nice that I'm not working on 2 of similar-ish projects, although this one's cabled and the other one's not at all. But yeah, ooh, it's so cute. I've had this pattern for quite a bit of time too, and so it's really nice for it to be done and off of my needles and ready to wear very, very, very soon. Yay! Okay, so let's move on to my whips for this week. Let's start off with the softest feeling one out of all of them. This is the Redmond hoodie by Hanna Maciejewska. And, okay, it looks kind of the same as where I was last week. Last week, the new thing that was added was the hood and, like, having both sleeves finished. Oh gosh, this thing is so soft. It's so cozy and soft. I just want to sleep in it. But this week, I just added a little bit to the body. And do I have my stitch marker? I do. Okay, I didn't add as much as I wanted to this week on the body, but here's my cute stitch marker. And so I just added, gosh, is that even 2 inches? It might be 1.5 inches of body. It's okay. That's all I worked on for the body. I do feel accomplished though, because I did finish knitting the I-cord for this, for the hoodie. So I finished the I-cord, which is really great. I haven't woven in the ends, but I did the I-cord. It is a 4-stitch I-cord, and I made this. I started it and finished it at knit night this week, and everyone except for Sylvan said I was crazy for knitting this with knitting needles and not using the cordsmith to make the I-cord, but I don't really mind knitting an I-cord, honestly, and knitting an I-cord during knit night I feel like is actually the perfect time to knit an I-cord, because you just get distracted by other things, and you don't have to think too hard about this, right? And so you just like keep going while you're talking to your friends, and then all of a sudden your I-cord's like really long. And so that's what happened. I started and finished this, and I also worked on some other projects during knit night too, but I finished it while I was at knit night, and so that was really nice. But yeah, so it's gonna be, I'm just doing this because I'm like, this is where it's gonna be placed in the hood, right? And so here it is. It's going to get a little bit longer after washing, but it's fine. It's nice. And it's made to the length in the pattern. I just followed the instructions in the pattern for that. But yeah, so I did the I-cord, and then I just added like 1.5 inches to the body. And so this coming week, I was working on other projects quite significantly this week. And so this coming week, I'm probably going to give a lot more attention to this hoodie because got to get it done before the end of this month. I still have some time, but again, still so much projects to work on also at the same time. So, but since I have 2 other projects off of my needles, hoping I can get a little more done on my hoodie, but it's working up so nice. I love it. Yarn is soft. It's great. I just cannot wait to wear it. Like, I cannot wait to finish it so that I can wear it and probably just live in it for the rest of the year, potentially. Rest of the year and also into next year. And also I'm curious on how this yarn is going to hold up because it is very soft and I want to wear it a lot. And so that might be good for me and good for you to all see and hear about how it holds up because it is so soft. I am, as a reminder, I am knitting this hoodie in collaboration with Woolfolk. So Woolfolk did send me yarn for free to make this hoodie. And so yeah, that's a collaboration. I posted a couple times about it on my Instagram. I have to post about it a couple more times on my Instagram. And so we'll see that, or you'll see that on my Instagram pretty soon. But so it's been honestly quite a nice knit. I was extremely worried about it taking forever. I was a little bit worried about the deadline and stuff for me to make this. Just a little bit. I knew I could do it, but I was just a little bit worried because it is fingering weight. The gauge was on the smaller side. It at least the stitches look pretty small. So I just wasn't sure how it was going to work out in terms of timing, but I think time-wise it's going to be fine as long as I keep working on it. And right now it's in a very non-thinking part of the pattern. I just have to knit in the round and stockinette on the body until it gets to do the hem for this. And I think the hem is pretty long actually, but at least then it'll change it up a bit. So that's all I have to do. It would be really awesome if I could finish it this week, but we'll see. I want to finish up the ball of yarn that I am currently attached to on this this coming week. I think that would be ideal. And I have one more skein. I feel like you can see it right there. Just the one white skein that's still in there. That's my last skein. And so we'll see. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to break into it to just finish up probably the ribbing on this. So probably within the next 2 weeks. And but I have until the end of November to do this. So wish me luck. I think it'll be all right. Yeah. But then after that, I'll get to wear it and live in it and sleep in it forever, which is going to be great. It's so soft. Okay. And, did I even talk about details? Probably did not. Oh, well. I'll talk about it now. So, again, it's a collaboration with Woolfolk because I am using Woolfolk yarn. It is the Woolfolk Tynd yarn in the color 00, which is a white color. I'm knitting size 1, and I'm using US 3 needles, 3.25 millimeter needles to knit the hoodie, which is great. And, I did size up my needles for this because even though I said that the gauge is small, I did have to size up my needles because otherwise I think it would have been too small for my attention. Okay, so that is my first whip of this week that did not turn into a finished object. My next one is, where is it? Okay, it's in this bag right here. This is my Moonset Polo by Ozetta. I am using Explore Knits Rockies DK in the colorway Lavendula, held with 2 strands of Big Little Yarn Co. Suri Silk lace in the colorway Nurikabe. And I have no business spending this much time working on this project because this project does not have a deadline. unlike almost all the rest of my other projects, I mean, they don't have like, it's not like something really bad's going to happen if I don't reach those deadlines, but they have some of them have, you know, other imposed deadlines, and my other ones are my deadlines. This one has no deadline. However, I've spent quite a bit of time on it this week. Just because I've been enjoying it. Number one, the gauge is huge. So it works up very fast. It's very satisfying. But also, I'm a little worried I'm going to run out of yarn. And I think you all know what happens when I'm worried I'm going to run out of yarn. I knit on that project like crazy because I need to know sooner rather than later if I'm going to run out of yarn. So this could still probably get, I'm nervous. So it could probably get more work on the next coming little bit. But I'm going to hold up what I have because I think it's pretty significant. Here it is, front, back. It's almost looking like a full sweater. Did I say, oh no, I'm knitting size extra small. And I'm using US 9 needles. 5.5 millimeter needles to knit this. The needles are huge. It kind of hurts my hands when I switch to knitting on this. Because it's just so, I'm working on so many fingering weight projects right now that like, working on a US 9 needle just feels so ginormous. Okay, so this is what I have. I feel like it is almost, I mean, I'm like close to finishing the body length, question mark, maybe, and also I hope, because again, I'm worried about running out of yarn. Also, look at my armholes. These sleeves are going to be massive. I'm not even at body length yet for the same length as my armhole. Okay, let me show you how much I got done this past week. So is my stitch marker. And so I had to, this week I just finished this front right section, and then I joined the two fronts. Also, these are, they're folding in, but there are 1 by 1 rib, kind of like the V-neck thing happening. And actually you can see this is right where I joined a new ball of Suri yarn, and so you can tell that the Suri is slightly different color than the rest. But if you know me, it doesn't really bother me that much, and I don't think it's that dramatic. I mean, it kind of is. There's just more dark blue happening. But I finished the front right. Then I joined the front. I joined around in the body with the back, and then worked in the round for, I don't know, this might be 5-6 inches maybe in the round. And okay, to give you a sense on why I'm worried about yarn, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to run out of my DK weight yarn, but I'm worried I'm going to run out of Suri. And I could have avoided this by just doing one strand of Suri, but I'm holding 2 strands of Suri together because I want to be extra fluffy, and I was like, better to meet gauge, because I did gauge swatch with 1 strand of Suri. Felt like it was a little too thin, so I did 2 strands of Suri, which maybe was my downfall. But I am almost finished with my second ball of Suri, and I have 4 of Suri. So this is what I have left in my second. And that would mean halfway done with the yarn that I have for this sweater. And I still have to do the folded collar, so that just means it's going to be, a little bit longer than just like a normal 1 by 1 rib collar. It has to like fold over, and so I still have to do that. And then I still have 2 large sleeves to do. And then also to finish the body. The rest of the Suri, what I have right now, is not going to finish the body. I know that for sure. And so what might happen, I'm already like trying to think ahead, is this might end up being a little more cropped than pattern recommends. But I think looking at how long it is already, I don't think it's going to be crazy cropped, like unwearable cropped. I think it'll be fine. But my strategy is going to be, I think I continue knitting in stockinette until I run out of my second ball of Suri, which is going to be very soon. Then, usually what I would do is probably do the collar. However, I'm thinking to try and like extend my Suri for as long as possible. I might do the collar with one strand of Suri. It depends. So I'm going to probably knit one sleeve first and see how much Suri that takes up. Because, so if I have two, I have two more skeins of Suri. And I'm hoping that it will not take one. It cannot take one skein of Suri to knit a sleeve, right? The armhole is huge though. Like that's going to be a very positive ease sleeve. I'm really hoping that it will not take a full skein of Suri. Like not even close. I'm hoping it'll be less than a skein of Suri. So that way I can finish the next sleeve, plus the collar, and still have some more left to finish the body. Yeah. So, but it'll depend. I may also shorten the sleeves because I looked at the measurements and it looks pretty long. Like I think it says 16 inches for sleeve length. And which normally I think sounds normal-ish. However, the drop shoulder on this, like where the sleeve starts, I think it's actually pretty low on my arm. I guess I think it's pretty low on my arm though. Like it's kind of curling in because it's stockinette, so you can't really see. But it's like if it starts here, let me move this. If it starts like here, well, I guess that's, I don't know. Part of me thinks the sleeves are. It just, there's so much shoulder drop. There's so much of the body fabric goes into my arm length, and so I'm thinking maybe the sleeve will be shorter, or I'll have to make it shorter, but it'll all depend. I think that working on the sleeves on this is going to be very much like I have to try it on and see where it's at, and maybe increase the rate at the decreases happen. Depending on things, I'm going to have to measure it. And it's going to be a bit of an involved knitting process for this sweater just because I'm worried about running out of yarn. If I'm feel like I'm cutting it close, that's when I do the collar, I'll probably do it with one strand of the DK and one strand of the Suri versus two strands of the Suri. That's what I'm thinking to just help save on the Suri because the DK yarn, I'm not worried about running out. So but yeah, so that's honestly probably the biggest reason why I am working on this as much as I am, even though this is the one thing that I don't have a deadline that I'm trying to reach for to finish. I'm just nervous about running out of yarn. But as far as knitting this up, it's been nice. The fabric is super soft, and it feels quite heavy, but in a good way, where it's just it's going to be a really cozy, oversized feeling sweater that I could put on over clothes that I'm already wearing if it gets cold, and so that's going to be super nice. And yeah, I am enjoying how these colors are working up together. And so yeah, that is my my Moonset Polo, and I'm knitting this pattern with my friend Emily, which we cast on at the same time at our knit weekend a couple weekends ago, and so that's been really nice. But yeah, so we're both making Moonset Polos, and ours are going to be very different, but I'm really excited for it. So yay matching knits. Okay, I have two new cast-ons to talk about just really quickly. First one is a predictable one. It is my Fleur Tee number 3 this time. So I did get this cast on. This is also one that I need to get more progress done in the next coming weeks. Again, I want to get this done. This is my last one though, which is great. This one's for my sister, and I want to get it done before Christmas because this is going to be part of her Christmas present for my sister and my mom. I'm using the same yarn. It's Sewrella cotton linen wool, but this time in the colorway Daunt Books, which is this green color, which is really nice. And yeah, you can just see I worked through the 1x1 rib on the bottom. This is worked bottom up, and then I did about I finished one chart of that stitch pattern. So yeah, I just got to keep going on this. Again, I've memorized the stitch pattern now, so I don't have to look at the instructions to work on this. I can just pick it up and just get going, which is really nice. And for this one, I am knitting size 2, which is the same size I knit for myself. Do have to make some adjustments though. I think the length I need to make 1 inch longer, so I do have to remember that. And I'm using the same needle size as previous ones, US 1.5, which is 2.5 millimeter needles to knit this. So that's the quick new cast on updates for that. And then my last cast on for this week, I actually just cast it on last night, is because I was like, oh my gosh, it's November and I need a November socks. So I cast on the Hello Sailor sock set by Summer Lee. And I'm calling it socks because that's the pattern set. You pay for one pattern and there's multiple sock patterns in it. I am following the broken rib one, which is the first pattern that's in there. I'll hold up what I have right now. I just need to cast it on and work a little bit on it so that I can just get going and for it to be easy for me to pick up later to have it already started. The yarn I'm using, this yarn, I've been waiting all year to knit with. So I'm very excited for this, and I think that this stitch pattern is going to show off this colorway really nicely. This is Zeezee Textiles Classic Fingering in the colorway Tapestry. I bought it at last year's flock, and it's so pretty. Perfect for my November socks. Here's it in the skein. It's so pretty. There's so many colors, but they all work so nicely together. It feels very fall, and it's really pretty. Really, really, really pretty. I remember when I was figuring out, with the help of my friends, what sock yarn to use and to correspond to each month this year. And I knew I wanted to use this color, but and it makes sense for it to be at the end of the year. But I was like, oh my gosh, I have to wait all year. I have to wait until November to use this yarn and knit with this colorway. But it's finally here. November's finally here, and so really excited to knit with it. I am knitting size small, and I'm using US 1 needles, which is 2.25 millimeter needles, my default sock needles. I am knitting size small. It is the smallest size in the pattern. I believe it is a 56 stitch sock, which I think 56 has felt pretty good for me stitch-wise for socks. I've in the past done 60, and that's also been fine, just sometimes it ends up a little loose, depending on the stitch. I definitely feel like this stitch, this broken rib stitch, which I think on camera is a little hard to see because of how many colors there are on the in the yarn. I'm gonna see if I can focus this. I've just tapped the camera screen. But what was I saying about it? Oh, I think that my gauge on this is loose. Just knitting this up, my gauge is loose, just the stitch pattern. And so it's looking actually quite large. But I think it'll be fine because even if the top, leg cuff part of this is loose, I'm okay with that being loose, and kind of if it's nice and kind of floppy loose, that would be really cute. But for the foot part, half of the stitches on the bottom is going to be stockinette, and so I think that that'll tighten it up a little bit. And so I'm not super worried, but it does look, I was knitting this and I was like, whoa, why does this look so wide? But I think it'll be fine. And if not, I will adjust. But I truly think that it'll be okay if it's kind of loose on the leg part. It'll be tighter on the foot part. Okay, and then that's it. That's it for my my knitting whips for this week. I want to quickly go over my spinning whip for this week because I'm done plying. This is my Yarn Jam Shaniko Silk fiber in the colorway Very, Very Merry, and I am spinning this. These are my Christmas sock spin, and I'm spinning this and going to knit socks with this with my friends. And some of us started this on our knit weekends. And let me hold up what I have so you can look at it while I talk about it. Yay, this is my main skein. This was like my leftovers, what I applied up. Okay. I feel like it's been a while since I've talked about a spin, so I'm trying to remember what I say about it. I split up this fiber. It is a 3-ply, and I split it up into a fractal. Is that the right wording? It's a fractal spin, and I did it 2, 4, 6, I believe. And then I spun it up, and I think it's so pretty. I love how this came together as a 3-ply. And my aim for this was for it to be... I was hoping to get a fingering weight 3-ply, and it is could be maybe a thicker fingering or a heavier fingering weight 3-ply, but maybe is leaning more towards sport. But I'm actually I'm proud of how I did. It is thinner than a DK, so that's nice. But yeah, I felt, oh my gosh, spinning this up, I felt like I was going so thin. Like, I was like, is this even real? Like, it was so thin, I felt, and I did have a lot of breaking that happened in between, or while I was spinning the singles, because I was trying to just get it so thin. But either way, I'm happy with how this came out. I really like how it feels. It's so nice and squishy. It's got to be the Shanico. It's my first time knitting with the Shanico, spinning with the Shanico silk, and the silk was really nice. I feel like it was blended pretty nicely into the fiber, so it was very easy to spin. And then I did have some leftover, quite a bit actually. So actually, out of the 3 singles that I made, 2, I went, the first one to finish while I was plying was there was a second one that was very close to finishing, like so close that I don't think I'm going to ply that up because it's going to result in very little yarn. Like, it might be like this much. And so 2 I used up quite nicely, and the third one, there was so much left over. So I didn't split up the fiber very evenly. So this was all from like the third single. And then I just plied this up because I wanted to match. This was a 3-ply. I wanted to finish this one up with a chain ply. So that's still like a 3-ply. Thickness wise, so that they're pretty even, just in case I'm not going to run out of this knitting socks, but if I wanted to combine them in a project later, that's just like how I like to do it. And as you can see, of course, color wise, they look very different, because with the chain ply, you're going to get more like kind of like self-striping, like longer of single colors versus barber poling, where you're combining the colors. And so that's why it looks a lot more, this one looks a lot more blended. And you can just tell, like, it's more barber poly, the colors are applied onto each other, and this one looks more solid colors in stripes. So yeah, that's my spin. I'm very happy to have a finished spin. I really, it felt like this one took so long, and again, it's because I was spinning so thin, or at least trying to spin extra thin, and it was a 3-ply, and so it took a lot longer to finish this braid than some of my other braids, where I end up kind of with like a DK weight yarn. So, but it was worth the effort, because I think it's great. And then I just need to skein that up, wash it, finish it, and take pretty pictures of it, so that I can have pictures of it in the finished skein before I wind it up to knit Christmas socks. But that's in the end of December, and so I do have some time to do that. But yeah, so that's my spinning update. I want to start another spin as well before the end of the year. Trying to figure out what. I could be crazy and start another sweater spin, but it probably won't be finished by the end of the year, which is fine. Or I could try and do a couple more say a couple more, but maybe just like one more single braid of fiber to finish out the year, but we will see, because again, I have a lot of knitting to do as well, so maybe I just end the year trying to knit a whole bunch and less spinning and start up spinning again next year. But we'll see. Okay, now onto my sewing section of this video. I do remember that I finished making all of the fish bags for my cousins' Christmas presents. I know maybe I only talked about it once when I finished my fish bag, and then I said I'm going to make fish bags for my cousins for presents. And then, I don't know if I talked about it, so apologies if I did, and this is just a repeat story. But once I decided I was going to do that, I needed to figure out what colors I wanted to use, my cousin's favorite colors to make their fish, and different different fabric patterns, that were geared more towards them, or just, to have a different color vibe on their fish. I also had to ask them what shoulder that they wear their bag, because the fish points up, and some people, for me, my fish is facing this way because I like the strap to be, the crossbody to be on my left shoulder, but some of them wanted it to be on the right. So I was hoping, I don't know if my question for that, probably they were like, that's weird, I wonder if it's for something, but I'm hoping by now they forgot, and so it'll still be kind of a surprise. I didn't even talk about this pattern. The official name. This is the Swim Along Crossbody Fish Bag by Madison Moore. And I made one for myself. Love it. I wear it quite often when I go out, and it's so funny because pretty much every time I go out and I'm wearing it, someone compliments me on it, or at least mentions it. And I love my fish bag so much. And I have 1, 2, 3, I have 5 finished ones. So I made 3 for my cousins. I made 1 for my sister because I'm including her in this, our cousin group of having. Last year I made them all the pillows. The pillows, right? So, oh my gosh, what are they called? It's not the Sweet Shop blanket. It's the Stella Quilt cushions. So it's same cousins. This time we're all gonna have matching fish bags. And then the 5th one that I made is for my dad because he likes fish, and he used to fish, and so I just thought it'd be cute. I'm not expecting any of them to wear it necessarily, especially for my dad. But I just felt like it was too perfect because it was a fish. And if you remember, I have knit him the halibut sweater in the past, which has colorwork fish on it. So I just had to do it this time. And I want to, I'm going to just hold them all up. They are all kind of facing in different directions because of the, how they like to wear on their bags. But I'm going to hold them all up, and then I want to show them to you all separately because they're so cute. They're so cute. I'm absolutely obsessed. I cannot stop looking at them. I am actually so obsessed. I need to start off by saying these were a pain to sew all at the same time. I thought, who knows, maybe it was quicker. It probably was in a way, but it took me, I would say, about 2 days to make mine. And so I was like, if I want to make 5, it'll take me 10 days. And I think in the end it did take me 10 days to do it. But I was like, the way that I did it, I didn't make one bag at a time. I kind of did them all at the same time. So I cut out all of the fabric to start. And that was a pain because I hate cutting out fabric. And so it just felt like it took forever. I had to cut out all of the batting also because these are quilted fish bags. And that was also a pain. And then doing the actual quilting of the pieces, also a pain, took forever. But once all the pieces were ready to go, assembling and putting together was so fast. I think that I did 2 of them one night, And then I finished putting together like 3 the second night. And then they were all done. It was so fast. At the end, it was very fast. In the beginning, felt so slow. Okay, I want to hold up each one and talk about it. And then show you, because I also got different colored straps and different colored buckles for all of these. They're so cute. But it also means I have, because you don't just buy one buckle. You buy like a pack of like 3, 4 buckles. And so I got each person a different color. I have a lot of buckles. But anyway, okay. I want to show these to you all. Also, I plan on taking cute pictures of all of these too, because I just can't. I can't with how cute these are. Okay, here's the first one I'm going to show you and talk about. Here it is. This one's for my sister. Oh, and also my sister did help me pick out the fabrics for these. And when she came over, we put all of the fabric out that I had, all of the colors, and then we rearranged them to make all of these fabric combinations for the fish bags. So this one's for her, and I think that this is very her. She likes any color except for pink, which, you know, my favorite color is pink. But I think blues and greens are probably like her favorites. And so we went with, the way that we did these fish bags is we went kind of with the pattern for this top part, which is how I formatted mine, and then the rest are all solid colors. And so I tried to pull colors from the pattern here. So we got the purple. There's not really like yellow in it, but it's kind of like that greeny orange. Got the green. I felt like brown would be like a nice stripe color there. And then for the strap, oh, also I decided to go for the backs of these to do with the print. And then the strap for this is like this mint color, and I found a pretty nice matching buckle for that. So this one's very cute. Love this. Very pastel colors. Okay, this one's a very happy colored one. This one's for one of my cousins. Her favorite color is yellow. So we went with this. Very happy. I would say, you know, this part is yellow, and there is kind of like a print on that. Yeah, there it is. And the rest of the colors, it felt right. It felt right, all of these colors together. There was no colors in the yellow print to pull from, but I think that this worked out really nicely. And I went with, of course, yellow strap and a yellow buckle for this one. So that's number 2. Oh, I also have to show you, these do have different colored bellies. Here. And I tried to make it so that sometimes it was like the face color I'd do for the belly. Other times it was like the stripe color. It kind of just depended what me and my sister decided. Okay, this next one is for my other cousin whose favorite color is pink, just like me. So this one I feel like it has a very similar vibe to my own one, but I did choose a different fabric at the top. And if it looks familiar, it is actually using the fabric I used for my Noe dress that I made, the fabric that I got from Japan. And it has kind of like pinky purpley flowers and some orange flowers in there. So pink, green, and this purple. And I thought blue fins would be really cute. Oh my gosh, wait, I forgot to show you the zippers. I have to go back and show you the zippers because the zippers are colored as well. Here's the back of this one. This zipper, I got a pack of zippers when I made mine, and they're very cute because they're like multicolored. So like the zipper fabric is a different color than the actual like plastic zipper and the pull zipper on this. So I went with the purple and blue one here. Just really quickly, I need to go back to these to show you these ones. Oh my gosh, chaotic right now. This one's for my sisters. I feel like all the colors worked out so nice. When I bought these zippers, I didn't even know what colors the other bags were going to be, or that I was going to make more bags. This one has like a mint green zipper fabric, and then kind of like this yellowy lime green zipper. And then for this one, the yellow one, found a yellow, it's not focusing, a yellow fabric zipper with a blue actual like zipper part. Okay, back to the pink one, the mainly pink one. What was nice about this was I used the same pink strap and pink buckle that I had for mine, and so that was really nice. Okay, this next one is the one for my other cousin, and her favorite color is green, or, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's green. That's what I dyed the yarn for her pillow last year. So we wanted this kind of like florally, or like leafy green print at the top, and the rest of it, you know, lighter green, blue, orange, and some yellow fins. Cute. The back is more of that print of the fish. And then strap, I got this one. The strap and the buckle don't really match. I just couldn't find one, at least with a quick shipping time. But the green, dark green strap, I feel like matches the print pretty nicely. And then I feel like it's pretty cute, though, to have kind of like a brighter green buckle to contrast with that. And then for the zipper for this one, it is like a light blue fabric part of the zipper, and then kind of like a lime green actual like zipper part. I feel like that matches this one as well. And then this last one, this one was for my dad. Tried to make it a bit more less girly looking. So I went with these colors. I'm surprised that we came up with this color combination with all the fat quarter fabric sections that I had. I just bought multiple packs of like different, I think one was like fall colors, and the other was like, you know, brighter color, or like pastel colors. And so we just did a whole combination of color themes and laid them all out and tried to piece them together. Here's this one. So it's darker blue, just darker colors overall, except for like the green, which I feel like my dad would appreciate the pop of color. He's always telling me, like, if I knit something that doesn't have like a cool, like like variegated yarn or something, he's just like, oh, why is it just like a boring gray, or like a boring, you know, like tonal color. He doesn't say that, but he likes when I do either like bright colors or a mix of colors, a variegated yarn. So I think that he would appreciate this like bright green fins. I feel like that makes it really cute. Very cute. The back is just the dark blue. And then for the strap, I went with this kind of lighter blue, but it's not like that mint green that I had for my sisters. And then a matching blue buckle there. And so, wow, these were a pain to sew, but the putting together of the bag was very quick. The part that really took forever was, 1, cutting out the fabric, and 2, piecing together like the quilt section. So just like, I'm gonna hold this one up because of dark colors you can see the thread easier. Doing the quilting of this, of sewing all of these lines, and then on the fin, I'm trying to angle it, see, on the fin, sewing these curved lines on the fin, and doing that, and stuffing it with the bat, even having to do the quilting on the bottom, and also on the back here. That took forever on each of the pieces. But once all of those pieces were done, actually sewing these pieces together was so fast. Again, like, putting together the pieces, I finished 2 bags in one day and 3 in the other day. And then attaching I actually decided to, I put together the entire fish minus putting the strap in. So I did each putting together of the fish one by one. And then after that is when I did all of the straps. So I just attached strap, and next bag attached the strap. And then they were fully done. This time around for doing the strap, I think I did a much better job of doing this, like sewing the strap into this little pocket it's not a pocket, but it's the little things that pop out to put the straps in to attach it to the bag. I did a much better job sewing this. I asked my sewing friend, Rumor, how she did it, because in the instructions they say how, but I couldn't quite get it. And she told me it's a zigzag stitch, but she just adjusted the length that it like moves, where the next stitch is, to be shorter and then a bit wider on the zigzag. And that helped me immensely with this, because on my bag it looks so ugly, but on these they look much better, and it looks like pretty legit. Like it looks like a real, what they have on real bags. I'm trying to focus it so you can actually see the stitching on this. I'm pretty proud of it, not gonna lie. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but on my bag it looks so ugly because I had to keep redoing it. My needle kept getting stuck. But the key for me, I think, was to make it a wider stitch, so that it ends up thicker, and then to make it shorter so that it wasn't just a zigzag. It kind of looks like it's going back and forth, or just more dense. And so that was really nice. Yeah, and the zipper for this, I was able to match up with the fins pretty nicely. So it's a nice bright green, and then like a slightly lighter, but still like bright green for the zipper. So these are all done. Before I give them away, I do want to take some cute pictures of them, because, I might not see them again. Probably won't see them again once I give them away. I'll probably see my sister's and my dad's one, if I really wanted to, see them again. But I'm going to hold them up again so you can see them all together, because I feel like that would be a cute picture, right? Like holding them like I caught all of these fish, just like holding them up like this. Also, each of them look so unique, like they have a personality, and like the colors, and that makes me so happy. And again, I'm going to turn these around so you can see, like, I use all different color straps for them, and that makes it just like extra fun too. These are so cute. So cute. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed, but I'm also fish bagged out. Like, part of me, I know I'm going to make more at some point in the future as gifts, most likely, because I don't think I need more fish bags for myself, because I love the one I have, and hopefully it'll last forever. But they're just so cute, and I feel like such great presents. Yeah, gosh, I can't stop looking at them. They're just some little cutie fish bags. So anyway, that maybe was a longer section than I was anticipating it being, but maybe not, because I knew that I was obsessed with these fish bags, and I really wanted to share them with you all and all the details on it, because I'm so proud of them. I'm really happy with how the color combinations came out. Thanks to my sister for helping me put those color combinations together. And I'm just really proud of them. I think they came out really nice. One thing I did not do this time that I did with mine, that I was like, I don't think it's worth the effort. I'm going to open up one of these. I decided to not do the bias binding on the inside in the bottom. For mine, I did do the bias binding so it covers up the raw edges in here. But it just took way too much time. I don't think it really, I was like, I don't think it's fine. It's fine. So I just did like the special zigzag stitch to close in the raw edges for all of the inside this time around. So hopefully it's all right. Hopefully, but yeah. I'm obsessed with these. I think, though, after I gotta take pictures of these pretty soon, and I want to keep them in tip-top shape for giving them as presents, and then I'll probably just have to, like, wrap them. Not wrap, like, or put them in some kind of, like, plastic bag, Ziploc bag, so that they don't get dirty before it's time to wrap them and give them as gifts. But I'm so happy that those are done. That also did take a lot of my time in the past few weeks to try and get those done before Christmas, but yeah, I'm glad they're done. And yeah, so that was all the sewing. I feel like I'm pretty sewed out, at least for a little bit for the time being. I do have an idea to sew a dress before Christmas as well. Oh my goodness. Because I really want to, but we'll see if I have time and the motivation to bring out my sewing machine again. But I'm so proud of my fish bags. I'm so proud of my fish bags. I feel like I've really like up-leveled my sewing skills this year and just gotten a bit more consistent, or like more comfortable with sewing this year. And I also sewed a lot more this year, and I'm like extremely happy with all of the things that I sewed this year, and so I'm feeling great. Also, these fish bags were my first ever attempt at quilting or doing any kind of quilted thing, and I think they turned out pretty nice, and I'm very happy with it. And so while it was a pain, I'm very excited that I can kind of like say that I did a kind of like quilted project for sewing. Attaching like the strap, the webbing, and doing the whole buckles. I mean, it's not like I sew the buckles on, but just doing the buckle situation and having that feels really cool too. Doing zippers, also crazy. I did have some trouble with them, but it turned out all right. And yeah, I'm really proud of myself. And I'm very excited. I hope my cousins like it. I hope they enjoy the fish bags. I hope they at least, they might not be that practical to actually use on a daily basis, or even just, just at all maybe. I mean, they work. I use it, but there's no pockets in it. I could have added pockets, but no way I was going to like figure out how to do that. But it's just an open pouch, so might not be something they use every day, but I hope that they at least can enjoy looking at it. And I'm hoping I can get a group picture of us with all of the fish bags, because that would be really cute. That's my hope. That is my hope, for us to get a group picture with our fish bags. Fingers crossed that it'll happen this Christmas, this year. So yeah, I'm so excited. I'm very happy. I'm very proud of myself with all of these, my sewing projects and also my knitting projects. And I'm really happy and excited that I get to share it with you all here too. And I hope you guys like seeing it as well. Okay, that is all I have for today's video. I think it was kind of long. Also now, oh my gosh, now that daylight savings ended, I forget which one it is, but it is now dark so early in the day. I now have to like pull out my light to use to make sure it doesn't get too dark in here. And I think I did okay. It was maybe a little bright in some sections, but I think the lighting is actually a pretty ideal right now, or good, since there's no natural light outside right now. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I did have a bit of kind of like, I feel like today's episode was pretty varied in like the types of things and like type of projects I had, and so I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm excited I didn't get to knit very much. Oh, I wanted to mention, I didn't get to knit very much today. And I do get a lot of my knitting done on the weekends, and so I'm hoping I can get more knitting done later today, probably after making and eating dinner. But I did some fiber dyeing today, which was really exciting, so that did also take up some of my time. It is quite involved, just in terms of like time and like physical like labor, I guess, in a way. But with my setup now in the garage, there were some parts of the activity that did not take as long to do as it did before, which is really nice. So I think I'm kind of getting into a groove. This is only my second kind of like time dyeing in my current setup in the garage, and like with my hot plates and stuff, and I think it worked out. I just dyed 2 braids today. They're not, one is soaking and finished, the other one's still in the dye pan, so I just have to finish that up today. Probably going to dye a little bit more tomorrow, and so I want to get some of that dye mixed up tonight so that tomorrow can just be, I won't have to spend kind of like the entire day doing dyeing things. But yeah, it was pretty fun, and I think the result of them was pretty good. So I'm very happy with it, and yeah, I think I'm going to end up using up all of the undyed fiber that I have in my stash, So that means if I want to dye more fiber in the near future, I'm going to have to make a fiber purchase of undyed fiber from somewhere. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it, and I'll maybe show you the results if it all kind of like works out okay sometime in the future. But yeah, so I did some dyeing. I did more dyeing this year. I thought maybe it was going to end at the last time I did a big dyeing session of trying to use up my mixed up dyes, but I actually did some mixing of dyes today, and also dyeing of fiber. Not planning on dyeing any yarn this round, just fiber. So, but yeah, I think it turned out good. So far it's working out pretty well. So overall, I'm very happy. I'm very excited. This weekend, at least, tomorrow is Sunday, so I still have one more day of the weekend, but I'm feeling very positive and energetic about all of the fun, crafty things I have going on. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm starting to get working. So I'm going to end the podcast here. Thank you so much for watching. As always, let me know in the comments down below what you've been working on while watching or listening to the podcast. And I hope you all have a great upcoming week. And I'll see you all in next week's video. Bye!